What's good? What's good? Just the Hurricane Sunday service. And you already know we about to go in. We about to go in. Shouts out to everybody coming through. Shouts out to In the Groove. What up, though? In the Groove music. I bet y'all wonder what we got to talk about today. Like on some Cody Rhodes shit. What do you want to talk about? YouTube. What you want to talk about? Fuck Cody Rhodes. I hate that nigga. I just love his entry though. Yeah, start the show. Whoa! Cody Rhodes song. No, that's all I like. It's just his entrance. But this nigga horrible. The fucking Rock came out talking about I want your soul and shit. I'm like, man, this the worstest promo of the Rock ever. I've never seen a Rock do a bad promo, but on SmackDown, oh my god, what the fuck was he thinking? I think it was improvised though. I think it was improvised though. Because Cody was supposed to be in a six-man tag match, and The Rock just popped up like, "Yo, nigga, we need to talk for like 20 minutes and waste everybody's time." And on the same SmackDown, one of my favorite bad bitches, she a heel too, and Tiffany Stratton. That bitch had a Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. Had to black out the fucking screen and shit. I was like, damn. But the picture's floating around. You can find it, but but overall, that shit was horrible. Wrestling is bad. Like usually it'd be big hype for like WrestleMania. Now the fucking hype is nowhere. But that's on some motherfucking entertainment news. But we got to talk about is Christianity. How motherfuckers be like, man, I hate Christians. I've been hearing that shit lately. I hate them too. Not all of them, because disclaimer: I'm cool with conspiracy Christians because they look up the same shit I'm looking up. Spiritual Christians because they value meditation and Jesus in the heart chakra and all this love shit. They understand that. I understand that too. And the last but not least are the Gnostic Christians. The Gnostics are the ones that know who your God really truly is. You know, a nigga that is a sadist, evil motherfucker, genocidal, homicidal killer God. This motherfucker out of his own mouth said he's jealous of you. For what? Because we're more powerful. Because we are the gods. We just need to tap into our power and stop being fucking religious. But that's Negro here or there. We want to talk about Christianity and like why most of us are not Christians no more. And it's been since 2006 since I let it go. And what I hate about people after you tell them that you let that shit go, they turn to a whole nother fucking person. That's the shit I hate. It's like cool conversation one moment, but the moment I'm talking about, you can have a conversation with a motherfucker. It could be the coolest shit ever. And then the motherfuckers mention Jesus and God. And then you get quiet. And then they notice your quietness and they ask you like what you believe. I'd be like, nope, not anymore. And then they whole mood change. Like the motherfucker look in their eyes, the energy, all that shit change. I hate that shit. And like these be the same motherfuckers that's out there in the street smoking, drinking, fucking around and being a goddamn nobody. So I'm here to bring y'all, you know, my story a little bit, along with a couple other little clips that I got. And talk about how fucked up this Christianity shit is and how many people are still leaving it. You know what I'm saying? and for the black people, why is y'all still Christian? I gotta ask y'all that question. It'll probably be a simple answer because God made a way out of no way. God did this shit for me. Can you prove it? That's my question. Can you prove it? Because I can prove that you got up off your ass and did so. Shit, nigga, God ain't come down and be like, nigga, get up. or God ain't knock on a nigga door or blow up yourself. God or Jesus or the devil. Like, nigga, none of them. But what I hate is in the beginning when I let go of Christianity, the first thing come out of a bitch ass Christian mouth is you just want to sin. I'm like, nigga, I do more good than you. It's like, nigga, fuck the bullshit. What do you do every day? Like, honestly, Christians are the biggest liars, thieves, murderers. They want to fuck your wife and your kids. You know what I'm saying? And then the moment you have a question about anything of that Bible or the pastor himself, you get ridiculed by everybody in the church. Most motherfuckers see corruption in the church that'll make a motherfucker leave. They're like, oh, nigga stealing money. Goddamn, I'm out. Niggas fucking behind the staircase. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But we still got bullshit in the game. And we need to address it. We need to address it. We need to address that all these churches in the hood, but the hood ain't rose up and flourished yet. Why is that? If God is so good, so great, why does it seem like he hate my people? Why does it seem like he's on the side of the oppressors instead of the oppressed? How come there's this bullshit selling hope shit, like you get your heaven when you die type shit? You don't get no heaven here. You can't even create a heaven here. And when we did try to create a heaven here, you know what they fucking did to Black Wall Street all over the goddamn country? Blow it up, flooded it, murdered, rape, pillage, everything. We can go back to the motherfucking the Trail of Tears. You know what I'm saying? We can go back to every major atrocity in the world and ask yourself this question: where the fuck was God at? Now, we go to the Old Testament. The carnage that was done in the Old Testament was done mostly by God. Like, this nigga got more bodies than Lucifer. And yet Lucifer is the biggest bad guy. Somebody explain that to me. How is Lucifer the biggest bad guy and the only motherfuckers that been murdering motherfuckers was God? And when Lucifer did do something, it was under the order of God to fuck with Job. And people still give that book a pass, like that book is the shit. Like, no, it's not, my niggas. Are y'all listening to me? Are y'all listening? Man, we got some bullshit in the game. And speaking of, hold on, what the fuck I just clicked on? I clicked on the wrong shit. Hold on. I don't even know if that's it or not. All right, hold on. Let's go take a music break real quick while I find this goddamn what we gonna play? Fuck the government. Majority of my shit is fuck the government. But fuck, let's let these motherfuckers know where I'm from motherfucking Detroit, motherfucker.
As for my American friend, the CIA thinks it can infiltrate the motel with Dr. Grunt. You can't scare me, bastard.
So my shit not gonna play.
Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. No.
Hit a motherfucker, hit him. Throw a motherfucker right dead in the river. I don't give a fuck about a fan, I'ma kill him. Put him in the hand, leave a nigga dead at a dinner. Flow with the rhythm. Shoot a motherfucker with an AK, nigga better make it. Better find a safe pay. Did I take your bitch on the play? Spit it like a play. Nigga don't test me, nigga don't stress me. I'ma keep on the head like a Bentley. Nigga don't Pepsi. Fucking with Becky. Beat a nerd case in the motherfucking Chevy. Coming out heavy, coming out daily. With a name guard, shoot your ass in your belly. Nigga ain't ready, coming out daily. Bustin' these shots in the motherfucking Perry. Welcome to the motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to the motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to the motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to the motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Kill a motherfucker, kill a motherfucker, kill him. For the government, hell yeah, I'ma get him. Eat line bus, hell yeah, I'ma get him. Tell Donald Trump, I won't miss when I get him. Spit your melon, call Mac 11. When I walk out cars, I'ma get it. Damn, like 11. Everybody check it. Yo, social media, or shot on 7. Go with the weapon. Everybody dip. Hollow point bullets that I hit him in the hip. Everybody flip. I don't give a fuck. Drag everybody parts from the back of the truck. Send me on the back, I got my pack a nigga up. Revolutionary, I'm my back a nigga up. Busting up the government, y'all better duck. Hitting at the motherfucking guts. What? Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Get a motherfucker, get a motherfucker, get him. Get a motherfucker, get a back with a bloody gat. Smack your jack with a money yak. Racks in the back and give me that. Facts got a gap playing black. Jack in the back, put a cat back with a back like a snap. Back in your lap, running laps back to the trap. My backpack's in the snap. My black flag and a strap in the backpack. Where's that? I clap back at a cat that wear a badge in the gap. I flash past like a bat. Beat your ass fast with a bat. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy. Welcome to motherfucking Detroit. Ain't scared to pull out the heat, boy.
Answer the question that I asked right from the start. What is the evidence that whatever it is you're living for today is true, is reliable? In other words, do you not have a double standard? A standard of evidence that Christ must meet in order for you to accept him, that you're not willing to apply to whatever the object of your worship is today, whatever the object is that you're living for today. That's where we've got to be brutally honest with ourselves. In order for me to believe it. Jesus falls short. Okay, no problem. But what is the option that meets that evidence that you have required? And that is why, Alex, I came down so hard on you for this agnosticism issue answer that you gave. It is intellectually unacceptable. It's impossible. You have to live for something. You have to value or not value people. You have to have an ethical system. And you're basing it on something. You're too intelligent. You're too thoughtful just to say, I blindly just go about my life. No, you don't blindly go about your life. You look for evidence. So what's the option? And that's what I look forward to hearing from you at some point in the future.
Now, before anyone asks, no, I could not find his response to that question.
What up?
So don't ask for the full video where I can find it, because I can't find it. I have no idea. If you find it, let me know. Let me know if you find it, okay? But stop asking me for the continuation of the video. That's all that I found. So, but I know that he answered this question resoundingly. I'm quite positive because I've seen this young man, these two young men, in multiple interviews, and I'm pretty sure they answered this question. And I'm sure the question probably goes something similar to what I'm about to say. So if you do find this video, I'm really curious because I wonder if we're going to answer in a similar fashion. So Cliff makes a few statements here that must be addressed before we even really get deep into it. The first thing is that Cliff is saying that whatever you believe in, the object of your worship, you're talking to two guys who are atheists or agnostic. And when you're speaking to an atheist or an agnostic, then the reality is that they don't have an object of worship. So the premise of you must be able to prove the same level of evidence that you expect for Jesus with whatever is the object of your worship. If you don't have an object of worship, then there is nothing to provide evidence for. You understand, Cliff? If a person doesn't believe in atheists, they would not provide evidence of aliens. Or better yet, if you believe aliens are Mars, but and the other person says, well, I don't believe in aliens at all, it is not for them to prove that there are aliens on Venus. Because So therefore, your statement of trying to pin them down and saying what is the evidence of your belief of the idol you worship is completely a false argument. You're trying to put words into their mouth. Now, you say that you would have to have the same evidence for what you have you live for. Now, and your code of ethics has to have some level of authority, something that is based off of. And you make the mistake of, well, you didn't make a mistake. It's an old debate trick of saying that I know you're more intelligent than that. And that way, you get the person to try to explain evidence of something that you know that you already are ready to break down. It's all true. But the fact of the matter is, a person can have a code of ethics that does not require a deity in order to have that code of ethics. Because the thing about it is that we are born atheists. Every last one of us are born atheists. We are then indoctrinated into religions. But even more so than we are indoctrinated into religions, in order to answer Cliff's question here, we are indoctrinated into a family. And we're in that family. That family is part of a community. That community is part of a culture. That culture is generally part of a nation. And in that family, community, culture, nation, there are laws, there are rules, there's a code of ethics. I can easily pull out a law book and show you. I can easily pull out the Constitution and show you. I can bring you to my family vacation every Labor Day weekend and show you the family. I can take you to my hometown of Marietta, Georgia, and show you the culture that I grew up in and how that culture functions. So the evidence of how and why I follow certain aspects starts there. Now, the next part is that because I grow up, because I have agency of my own, I then can determine what I view from the family, community, culture, nation that I want to make a part of me. And that is evident by my actions that I take. I have never murdered anyone because I don't want to be murdered. I've never, when I was a kid, I did steal back up, but I don't steal because I don't want to be stolen from. I don't rape, never have raped because I don't want to be raped. You see how that list can go on. My basic axiom is do whatever you please as long as it does not harm someone else, and never do anything that you wouldn't want done to yourself. If you never do anything that you wouldn't want done to yourself, that in itself, the evidence is self, me, my thoughts, my culture, my family, my code of ethics, my code of conduct is I don't require a God. My brain. And what do I live for? I live for the existence of life. I didn't ask to exist here. I didn't bring. My parents did the shakalaka boom boom, and now I'm here. But since I'm here, I have chosen the agency to live simply because of the existence of life. And then as I have lived, I have family, I have friends, I have children. I choose to live for them. But more I live for me, for my enjoyment and experience of life. I don't need a God to live for. I don't even need kids to live for, a family to live for, a wife to live for. If I was all alone on this planet by my damn self, I would still live for life. Our dealerships, Lamborghinis. Actually, knowing me, I go to all the motorcycle dealerships. I'm riding everything I want to ride. I'm having a good time. It'd be lonely. I need somebody anyway. But for me and my wife, we just live. And even though it'd be sad that everybody's gone, we would enjoy life. We would still experience life. The fact that you are alive is enough for you to live for. If you need a deity or you serve to a deity to have something to live for, you are in living. So the present that you see his life great up to live for. It's just to live for. And every breath, every moment, every experience you have is not worth it. You consider yourself so low on the pole that you only exist for the amusement of some deity, because obviously it's not for the love of this deity. It is for the fear and the amusement of this deity that you live. And that's a sad life. That's your existence. But if anybody can find that young man's response because I personally couldn't find it. I'll give things so much time.
Journey and good. Shouts out to Jay. Shouts out to In the Groove. I hope shit ain't choppy. I got a feeling that it might be. Fuck this StreamYard shit. But anyway, it was that cat right there that made me paradigm of, if you need a Christian God to keep you from going crazy, be my guest, keep on believing. But then hearing him, now the paradigm is shattered. It's like, nigga, do whatever the fuck you want, because everybody do whatever the fuck they want anyway, right? But don't hide behind God. Don't blame no God or no devil for your actions, and don't cry when the consequences come your way. Like reading this book from beginning to end, contradictions, metaphors, symbolisms, and parables, and a splash of spirituality. You fucking read this book and know this shit is fucking evil. Like, yes, there's truth in it. It's in it. Just read the cliche. Damn. Damn. I feel you, nigga. Lagging. Yep. Figured that. I figured it was lagging. Because at the moment I was hitting on the button and the button wasn't popping up, I'm like, yep, it's lagging. I hate this shit. They messed up the. These motherfuckers ain't gonna stop fucking with me. These motherfuckers ain't gonna stop fucking with my vibe. especially I sound good because I'm clicking on the book. I think, oh, I'm looking up again. Like, real shit, I hate this shit. Shouts out to everybody. All right. Then Craig, you gotta do the let me know if you want the chat song. Let me know how it sound. And I got where I was going with the last thing I was saying. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was saying was, oh, don't hide behind the when you just do your shit. Do it I will. Everybody, man. And what I also wanted to say was when you find you like your own moral compass, your own shit, you don't need no guy. It's like you know right and wrong, right? I like it. Yeah. Damn. So my shit up again. It's on low. It's on low. Can I hear you now? It's paid. I just don't. This shit sucks. Pause. I'm clicking on this shit, motherfucking moving. Hold on 1 second. Find a better area. Oh, it's every time I'm talking with the audio. Gotcha. That's a bullshit. I've been clicking these things. Oh man. Okay. I thought I found a better spot. But the drone is kind of over shit. Hell yeah. You ain't never lied. All right, we play some music real quick and talk about. I'll find this other clip. I saw. I'm still trying for this motherfucking shit. In fact, let's go to the song real quick. See the song. But shout out to everybody coming, man. Y'all true. All right, let me know if y'all hear me now. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know, dog. This some bullshit. What happened? Yeah, I know. Yo, dog, they got me. God damn, dog. That shit just takes out all the momentum and every fucking thing. Nigga, I don't feel like doing shit now. Nigga, real shit. I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like doing shit. Fuck it, dog. Fuck Christians. Yup. Fuck Christianity. Yup. Fuck God. Fuck Jesus. Fuck the devil. Fuck them all. Yup. Nigga, yup. Like real shit, nigga. Like that should just be the last shit I say. Like, nigga, fuck it all. Like, right? Like, fuck it all. Some bullshit. Yeah, but I know the motherfucking NSA, CIA, the FBI probably sitting behind their desk laughing. Like, yeah, we gonna make him quit. We gonna make him give up. Fuck all that, bitch. Fuck all that. I'm gonna ride through this shit. Pause. I'm gonna get through this shit because what the fuck else, right? What the fuck else? I could just stop this shit and just turn my game on and just shoot a nigga in the face. But no, fuck the bullshit. No, we gonna keep on motherfucking going. Fuck the government. Fuck Christianity. Fuck religion. Fuck the politics. And fuck those goddamn Diaz brothers.
Seminary. I couldn't find the exact article that I read way back when, but it essentially argued that there is no God. But if there was a God, he clearly hated black people. Does God hate black people? I mean, I think that's an important question, a question that too many black theists have ignored. Right? If you look at our experience, it is overwhelmingly tied to suffering. And true, all folks suffer, but this is disproportionate and unto death. And it ought to force us to raise the question. If God is loving, kind, just, and compassionate, and concerned with folks and can make stuff happen, and black folks still suffer disproportionately, then maybe that God doesn't like black people. Because white folks in general, right, as a group, seem to be doing all right. Black folks, as a whole, not doing so well. And forget about the kind of misery that black women or black trans folks. I mean, forget about that kind of misery. Just in general, there is an overwhelming experience of misery. And again, if God is loving, kind, just, compassionate, concerned with folks and can make stuff happen, and black folks are disproportionately suffering, then maybe God doesn't like black folks. It's a question that's got to be wrestled with. And black Christians in particular haven't wrestled with it because they read the Bible assuming they are the favored community. Right? They are the equivalent of the children of Israel. But if you look at our experience in the context of North America, you can make a reasonable argument, perhaps a more reasonable argument, that we are the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Hittites, the folks who get a whooping. Right? So it seems to me that is a question that is central, that has to be wrestled with. Theists have ignored it. On the other hand, Christians like Claudia would argue that Dr. Penn is wrong and that the life of Jesus is proof that he is wrong.
The reason I would say there's a case for Christ as black, as resin, and not necessarily racially, gotta be clear, not necessarily racially black, but experiential black. And that case is that this God put on human flesh, and when he was born in the midst of a genocide, flees to Egypt with his parents as a refugee seeking asylum, to then grow up in a working class community of Nazareth, black and brown people who were had no socioeconomic wealth or political position or station. And this brown man who hid in Egypt literally goes about the Gaza Strip teaching brown people about Creator God. He was disrupting the cultural system of not speaking to women. He disrupted the...
And his disciples was like, why is you talking to these people in parables? Be straightforward. That's if he was real. Man, fuck Jesus. Let her keep talking.
Cultural system of not engaging with the unlearned. He touched the lepers. He healed the sick. And then because he did all of those things, he is falsely accused and he's arrested in the middle of the night. And we just got out of Easter weekend, right? They take him.
Fuck the bullshit. What does that got to do with answering this question? This God hate black people. This bitch gonna go off into a fucking story time. This is why I hate Christians. Another reason why I hate Christians. What she's saying in so many words, since Jesus suffered, we have to suffer. But we suffered way more fucking worse shit than fucking Jesus. Let her keep going.
Right?
And she laughing.
And he's literally Before the Sanhedrin, they are desperately trying to pin him for a crime he did not commit. He dies in the middle of two criminals with the greatest, grossest execution known to human history. There is no other people.
Greatest execution in human history. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Let's talk about the transatlantic slave trade, or let's talk about the Trail of Tears, or let's talk about the American Holocaust. Fuck the bullshit. Let's be real. That Jesus being crucified, you know how many people was crucified way before Jesus? You said, oh, Jesus had the worstest beat out of everybody getting crucified. Get the fuck out of here. Everybody that had been crucified went through the same procedure before they get nailed to that fucking wood. Get beaten to death first, paraded out to everybody, get your ass get hung up on a fucking tree. Get the fuck out of here. What we went through was way worse, and it was after generation after generation after generation for hundreds of fucking years. Jesus got whooped one fucking time. That's if he was real.
Group on the face of the planet who has experienced the kind of suffering that is akin to the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ like black and brown people. No other group in human history. And what is fascinating about that to me, Garrison, is that
what is true is we're the only people that has been fucked over out of everybody else in this world. That's the only thing she's right about. But like connecting our why we supposed to suffer to Jesus suffering is bullshit. That's why I hate Christians.
Black and brown people make up 80% of humanity on the globe. A very small.
Yep, and we're being used as a fucking food source to feed evil reptilian shape-shifting bastards with our melanin and our blood and our flesh, allegedly. Adrenochrome shortage. Look at every other Nachos Bel Grande. That bitch need to eat a sandwich.
Minority group is currently experiencing global power, and their lived experience is not that of a crucified savior. It is that of a Roman and religious power. That is why we can say, like James Cone, that Jesus was black.
I grew up in the West End of Atlanta, which means that for as long as I can remember, I've heard Hebrew Israelites and 5%ers and folks in the Nation of Islam describe Christianity as the white man's religion. This idea that black Christians were essentially worshiping the God of their oppressor. And Claudia had something to say about the history of Christianity in black or African possession.
I think everyone knows that Ethiopia has always been a Christian nation. But Ethiopia also was at this really important intersection of international trade. We get Ethiopia as this Christian nation because they had constant contact with the direct disciples of Jesus Christ who were eyewitnesses to his life.
And that's all allegedly, because according to Haile Selassie, he said, nigga, I'm not the motherfucking son of that so-called nigga y'all talking about. But there's some people saying that he's the bloodline of Jesus, he's the bloodline of Jesus. Fuck the hell out of here.
Death and resurrection. But then even outside of Ethiopia, even if we go to Ghana with the Akan people, who also had their own creation narrative that is very similar to the creation narrative of the Hebrew scriptures, where they even...
Thank you. There's other people with other fucking scriptures way before Jesus even fucking exists. Thank you for saying that, pointing that out. Because let us know that we don't need no fucking Christianity. They already have their own shit that predates the shit that's right now. Jesus is the modern day religion.
Named the creator God, the God of Saturday, right? So there has always been this very present belief in the Judeo-Christian God on the continent far prior to the Portuguese first coming to take slaves in 1471.
And while Christianity has been an incredibly powerful and positive force in the black community, nurturing our most progressive and effective voices, it's impossible to ignore the most regressive elements present in the faith.
Well, from very early on, black church figures tried to publicly reimagine the position of black folks within the context of the United States. Yeah. So one of my favorites is Henry McNeil Turner. Henry McNeil Turner in the late 1800s in Atlanta, Georgia, argued that God is a Negro. Pause. 1800s, Atlanta, Georgia, God is a Negro. He also argued that the flag of the United States is a dirty rag and will remain so until black folks are treated properly. So you get these sorts of figures who are moving between the church and political life, but he holds several appointments. Other ministers are moving into political office, and then you move through the decades and you get someone like Adam Clayton Powell Jr., right? So you get churches that are sure enough involved in the political process. And this was fruitful, one, because these churches were economically independent. So these ministers, by and large, could work for the well-being of black folks without worrying about paychecks. The Black church was the first organization for and by Black folks. So the church becomes an easy mechanism Black folks could use to be involved. It gave them a theology that included them. They were made in the image of God. Yes, that Black folks had deep importance and significance, and provided them with opportunities to live that in public, both as individuals and as a collective. So the Black church has played that sort of role, but the Black church has played that role almost exclusively in relationship to race. So it hasn't dealt well with issues of gender and sexism. Forget about its ability to deal with sexuality. What happens to a trans population within Black churches, right? So they've worked hard to try to get race right, but we are not one-dimensional beings, right? We are not beings who are simply defined by anti-Black in terms of race. There are a variety of ways in which this society has tried to marginalize, if not kill us, and Black churches have been reluctant to address that. I think one of the shortcomings of Black churches, why they have not been willing to engage a much more expansive agenda, is because of respectability politics. If we look like white folks, if we sound like white folks, if we structure our individual and collective lives in ways that mimic white folks, they will have to appreciate us. So we've reached the point again where Black churches, the dominance of Black churches is being consistently challenged by pointing out its shortcomings. And we also have new vocabulary, new grammar, new ways of naming our positions in the world that are enhanced and spread so very effectively through social media. So Black folks know their options. They know I'm a secular humanist and I'm not alone.
Why is that? Why are more Black people identifying as atheists today? Why is that happening?
Because Christians are hypocrites. They're the biggest liars, thieves, and murderers. They're scammers. They'll take your wife and they'll take your child, and then ridicule you for having questions. But we'll hear his answer.
Why are more Black folks identifying as atheists today? I think what is happening is a greater degree of comfort with naming what they have been. Black atheists and secular humanists didn't just pop on the scene recently. We have existed, but we've reached a moment in history in which the dominance of the Black church is being legitimately challenged, right? Legitimately challenged. And this has been more graphic over the past 3 decades with the spiritual but not religious, right? Or those who claim no particular religious affiliation. The percentage of Black folks who move in one of those two directions is noteworthy. The dominance of the Black church has been fractured. In more recent years, I think some of that is a result of the ways in which Black Lives Matter, for example, has given us an opportunity to rethink our engagement with the world and to rethink our meaning-making processes and to think Black life in.
But Black Lives Matter was funded by George Soros, but he don't know that. Not yet. But Black Lives Matter ain't do shit. That ain't make a nigga leave Christianity. That just motherfucking made niggas act stupid. And they took Black people money just like the church did. And they built the mansion just like the churches did. Fuck Black Lives Matter.
Ways that push against the ways in which Black churches have confined. It's also the case that if you think in terms of hip-hop, a major influence within the context of the United States, there has been a softening, a signifying, a rethinking of these dominant theistic themes. So Tupac is Black Jesus, the patron saint of thugs. Or on Crown, Jay-Z says you're in the presence of King, scratch that, you're in the presence of God. Or Kanye West says, I am a God. Right? So you get this kind of rethinking that has been in place for a while. Because the 5%ers, for example, argue we're getting this all wrong because the Black man is God. This is where the Nation of Islam falls short for them. Nation of Islam says you're created in the image of Allah. 5%ers say, no, we are God. Right? So there has been a softening, a reworking, a rethinking of these categories for a good stretch of time.
Okay, so confession time. I'm a Christian. You're probably not surprised by that. But I will say that I've gone through a kind of deconstruction. I don't like that term. I think it's a bit overused. But these...
And you stop right there. You know he was a Christian. But let me just let him go, because I hate Christians. Just don't speak. Speak his peace.
For me, are shifts and evolutions in my faith that often leave me feeling uncomfortable with all of the assumptions and baggage present in calling myself a Christian. Most of that discomfort is because of the way Christians have chosen to represent themselves in politics over the last 20 to 30.
So you carry their baggage? And this is why I leave Christianity alone. Some people are Christians and they hate to call themselves Christians because of what other Christians do. Bitch, what that person eat don't make you shit.
years. Christian nationalism is a mind virus. It is a cancer in the church. Titles and nomenclature aside, here's why I still resonate with the Christian faith. I have 3 reasons. First, Christianity is a Middle Eastern, or more accurately, a Near Eastern religion, which means it should be rightly understood within an Eastern framework. For me, in order to give Christianity a fair shake, I have to understand it separately from the bastardized version we know today. I'll come back to that in my third point. The cultural context of the Bible's authors and main characters would not align with the money-hungry, capitalistic structures we know today. This means that success in the biblical narrative exists almost exclusively outside of the confines of worldly possession or wealth accumulation. Our top-down preconception about who is favored and who isn't simply do not fit within the framework of the biblical narrative. In fact, the ultimate main character of the book, Jesus, was a Middle Eastern Jewish man who was born in a barn, lived as a nomad, owned no earthly possessions, believed in sweeping debt forgiveness, and constantly criticized the exploitative practices of businessmen, church grifters, and oppressive governments. Second, and this is connected, I've read the book. Slave owners frequently cut out critical parts of the biblical narrative to stop Black people from learning the whole story. Books like the Exodus were removed from slave Bibles because those stories were too radicalizing for the enslaved to have access to. This is one of the great ironies of the anti-Black book bans taking place across the country. They're acting just like their grandfathers who thought they could ban radicalizing books from the Bible. Slave preachers were brought onto plantations to preach about how the Bible commands the enslaved to obey their masters. That's Ephesians chapter 6. They were not allowed to preach verses in the book just before, Galatians chapter 3, which says that the slave and the free are made equals in Christ Jesus. When you read the book, the whole book, it is clear that God is squarely on the side of the oppressed and decidedly against the oppressor, even when the oppressors are his people. More.
Oh my God, I hate Christians even more.
On that in a bit. I've read the New Testament, like the book of Luke, where Jesus says that his singular mission is to bring liberation to the oppressed. Jesus goes on to present a powerfully progressive vision of something close.
And did that ever happen? No, it didn't. Motherfuckers have been more impressed forever. And he's not going to address that. I bet he ain't.
To universal health care, debt forgiveness, and a kind of criminal justice reform. The third reason why I still
get the fuck out of here.
Identify as a Christian is a bit more logical and directly connected to reading the book. The Bible presents a narrative of people doing what they want to do, often in direct opposition to what the God of Scripture tells them to do. One could argue that one of the central themes of the Bible is choice and how the divine is navigating people's freedom to choose. From Adam and Eve choosing to eat the forbidden fruit of the garden, to David choosing to step up and fight Goliath, to some people choosing to accept or reject Jesus as the Messiah. Choice is woven throughout the text, and what comes with that choice is a great deal of risk. Human error, exploitation, and wrongdoing are often the fruit of that risk. This is, for me, where faith has its limits, because we all have choices to make. If I choose to harm someone, it doesn't matter how many Bible verses I quote. I will be responsible for my actions. It would be silly for me to place the blame for my actions on God. Similarly, hundreds of years of Europe and the West's non-stop colonial exploitation of African people and land is a choice that has produced far-reaching outcomes to this day. I would challenge you to go back and read the writings of white people living in what would become America in the 1600s and 1700s. They knew what they were doing. America's enslavement, segregation, mass incarceration, and continued exclusion of Black people is a choice. And if God exists, I don't think it's fair to blame that on them. Anti-Blackness is real, and it isn't of God's making. The Bible basically describes Jesus as a Black person. Is Jesus in the Bible? I believe they describe him with bronze and hair. He was black as brass, and his hair was out of wool. James Harden? James Harden? LeBron? What? In some ways, I think this is why Black people are still Christians. The Bible promises a better tomorrow, despite the trial.
Yeah, it promises a better tomorrow while we suffer for thousands of fucking years. Keep on waiting, you stupid ass Christians. Keep on fucking waiting.
Of today. And you may scoff at the therapeutic nature of that claim, and I get it, but there's also something powerful about hope. In the Black church,
there's something powerful about hope. Just keep on believing. Someone give that bitch a motherfucking indigo lantern ring. The lantern of hope. The ones that don't do nothing in battle. Nigga, give me my red lantern ring, nigga.
Despite all of its flaws, has heart.
Yeah, we still a Christian. In spite of all of our flaws, yep. Fucks up.
That hope.
Because you ain't trying to change the flaw. You just happy that you a flawed creature. Like, gotta motherfucking see my heart and all this bullshit. While I keep on smoking, drinking, fucking around and ruining my life, God got my back still. Y'all niggas stupid.
Producing art, expression, and movements that have changed the world.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Now that was that. Like I said, disclaimer. The Gnostic Christians, y'all cool with me. Spiritual Christians, y'all cool. Conspiracy Christians, y'all cool. It's just these other majority of the Christians that's still left that is motherfucking still fucking up. But you gonna stop disrespecting my Lord and Savior? I'm gonna pedigree that nigga through a flaming table. Nigga, ever seen Jesus get pedigreed through a flaming table? Nigga, nigga, I'm gonna hit God with the sweet chin music. Nigga sitting on the throne though, he's motherfucker gonna come out of nowhere. But then we got another one.
Answer the question that I asked right from the start.
Nope, that ain't even it. I don't even think I got it. What the fuck? I think I do. I think I do.
I had. Without sufficient reason to believe Christianity was true, though, I had to leave all of that behind. That was about 5.5 years ago now, and while the life where I upheld the faith feels more distant and alien than ever, it's only recently become clear to me how much Christian programming still influences my inner world. I suppose that a few years ago I thought that disavowing Christianity and leaving its communities was nearly all that was necessary to de-Christianize one's mind. Deconversion was most of the picture. I thought the journey was largely behind me. The destination had been reached. I cannot and do not think that way anymore, though. This is why the term deconstruction now appeals to me more than deconversion. Realistically, leaving behind one's worldview, especially one that was meticulously programmed into you throughout your formative years, it doesn't happen in one fell swoop. It's a process, one that takes constant emotional labor, tedious introspection, and diligent self-care. For me, deconstruction better describes the process by which I've increased my independence from faith, while also indicating that this process is still ongoing. I know that many of you out there can relate, so in the hopes of encouraging others to speak openly about their ongoing deconstruction, I'd like to share a few things I'm still deconstructing over 5 years into this journey. Naturally, not all of the ideas I'll share here are fully formed, so just keep that in mind as we continue. My worldview as the exclusive path to moral behavior. There are absolutely not multiple paths to God, I was taught. The road to God's kingdom, to truth, to morality is narrow. If you want to do what's right, there's only one way. Period. When I left Christianity and began rebuilding my understanding of morality, I held on to this notion in a way. I regularly saw well-intentioned people harm others as a result of their factually incorrect beliefs informing unwittingly harmful behavior. This led me to conclude that the key to promoting well-being was the propagation of ideology which championed empiricism and naturalism as necessary to informed moral decision-making. If everyone was a critical thinker, atheist, and naturalist like me, I thought, the world would be in much better order. Today, I still think that poorly informed beliefs do regularly inform harmful actions. Countless deaths have resulted from widespread ignorance of epidemiology in the last 2 years, for instance. Considering my naturalistic worldview and those who uphold it to be necessarily less prone to the adoption of false beliefs, though, I've realized is an unrealistic and tribal way of thinking. Now, I'm well aware that there is a body of data which suggests that atheists and naturalists tend to value critical thinking a bit more than most populations, while also being more scientifically and religiously literate on average than most. Still, though, that fact is not reason enough to conclude that atheism and naturalism exclusively lead to well-informed moral behavior. Can it be harmful to believe things that aren't true? Yes. If something is not true, is believing that thing harmful? Well, I used to answer yes, because a false belief has the potential to wrongly inform moral behavior. But I've since realized if I'm claiming that certain beliefs are harmful, I need to demonstrate that on a case-by-case basis. Beliefs which are true, after all, also have the potential to inform moral behavior in a harmful way. If you need an example of that as a fellow atheist or naturalist, just look at any atheist public figure who uses their rejection of superstition and fundamentalist Christian myths to lord their intellectual superiority over and constantly berate religious people who call into their experience of a live show. This abusive behavior can even be wrongly excused in atheist spaces because those in them rightly believe that atheists tend to value critical thought a little more than most. Being right excuses the abuse of might, some atheists seem to think. On top of all of that, there are religious people of diverse backgrounds and persuasions who can and do exhibit well-informed moral behavior, such that I have no reason to dissuade them of their religious ideas, even if I think they're factually wrong. There can even be massive social and political advantages to working with religiously diverse people for the sake of achieving common goals. Many pagans and progressive Abrahamics have proved useful allies in advocating for tolerance and human rights. Why not work with them? My worldview is not some kind of key to morality, and I now see that thinking that it was probably stemmed from my former evangelical Christianity. Asceticism as a necessity for long-term happiness. Asceticism is the practice of the denial of physical or psychological desires in order to attain a spiritual ideal or goal. While those with a conservative Protestant upbringing like myself may not have been taught this term, many of us were instructed in its practice. Your purpose in life is to commune with God and glorify Him, so you need to avoid distractions from that. Don't get intoxicated in any way. Don't go to parties. Don't spend more time on entertainment than study and prayer. Don't use psychedelics, and don't engage with your sexual desires except in extremely specific instances. Basically, don't do anything which could provoke a state of ecstasy, except maybe Christian ritual or worship. Having been a fundamental Baptist, I was instructed and expected to live a fairly ascetic lifestyle, even though almost no one involved in my upbringing even knew what the term ascetic means. The Rolling Stones song Satisfaction was used as an example in countless sermons. If you give in to the desires of the flesh and partake of the pleasures of this world, you'll only end up like the song's protagonist, in search of satisfaction that will never, ever come. I was a pretty good and consistent ascetic. Even when I left Christianity, I didn't change my lifestyle at all. God was no longer a part of my rationale, but I still practiced strict self-discipline for the sake of attaining to some higher state of being, one where I believed I'd experience greater peace and contentment. I still had an idea that intense pleasure would not only distract me from important things, but would corrupt me in destroying my ability to find happiness and contentment without intense pleasure. So my asceticism became a practical route to long-term fulfillment and, somewhat paradoxically, to happiness. A few years went by without much change there, but eventually I had a few experiences which broke from my ascetic habits. Strangely, I actually came away from those experiences with a sense of fulfillment that improved my overall sense of well-being even after they were over. They didn't prevent me from feeling fulfilled or content in everyday life at all. Rather quickly, I began to see that some of my views on ecstatic or even just pleasurable experiences were driven by fear. Fear which my fundamentalist community programmed into me to keep me from exploring anything outside of its realm of control. Since then, I've explored more things which are off limits to a good ascetic, and I've come away from that with a better understanding of who I am and what contributes to my sense of well-being. Moderation is hugely important, as constantly chasing ecstasy can be quite unhealthy, but asceticism driven by fear can be unhealthy as well. These days, I'm still pretty low-key most of the time. Most of my time is spent studying or skating, and I'm definitely not a partier. What I am is informed by experience and careful thought, capable of making healthy choices for good reasons, rather than overly cautious choices out of fear. Ironically, the discipline and maturity which asceticism is supposed to deliver, I only gained after defying my ascetic practice and coming to understand pleasure and moderation in my own terms. Emotional ties to the in-group protecting narratives of Christianity. I just realized I forgot about Carl, so I'm going to set him up now. Okay. Religious communities, especially conservative or insular religious communities, often strongly believe in and propagate narratives about outsiders, especially apostates. I've spoken about this before on my channel, and the video I released just prior to this one even discusses the cognitive biases which drive these narratives. One of these narratives which influenced me as a teenager was Christian kids go to a secular college, learn new things, and let that turn them away from God or make them think they're just too smart to believe in God. This narrative motivated me as an 18-year-old to attend an evangelical university so I wouldn't fulfill that narrative. When I graduated and deconstructed my faith shortly thereafter, I didn't think I would fulfill that narrative in my Christian community's thinking since I went to an evangelical school. But I was wrong. They still saw my experience as perfectly in line with that narrative. To this day, nothing I could possibly say would inform their thinking about me more than that narrative from their tribe. Fast forward to the last couple of years where I've broken from some of my ascetic Christian-approved habits. I've learned from the spinning of the previous narrative that there's not much use in trying to inform my former community, which includes my loved ones, of the nuances of my thinking and behavior in order to counter their narratives. So if and when I'm considering doing something they consider sinful, even if it's a significant life event for me, I decidedly do not share that with them at all. Still, though, I find myself worrying that if they found out, another evangelical narrative would be invoked. He left God because he wants to sin. Just look at the way he lives now. On the other hand, though, if they knew that narrative of theirs was giving me stress, they'd have another narrative to spin. He knows in his heart that what he's thinking of doing is a sin. He knows God's law is written on his heart. This is what's so frustrating about these narratives. I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. These narratives are created to facilitate in-group cohesion and confirm Christian bias completely regardless of what happens. It doesn't matter what I do because these narratives are not tied to reality. They don't actually explain anything. They are pieces of social technology which serve to construct a reality that makes remaining Christian more comfortable. After all, how much easier is it to think, look at that, I've been right all along about everything that happens, than to investigate things humbly, always recognizing that you could be wrong. Obviously, I've been processing all of this for a while, but it still is pretty raw. I understand that it's not my fault if these narratives are spun about me, so I might as well do what I want. Religious indoctrination never makes it easy, though. Recently, I've been considering going back to school for religious studies. I already spend a good deal of my time studying religion for my own enjoyment, so why not just get some credit while I'm at it? Well, because I know narratives would be spun about that too. He's the prodigal son. He's still interested in religion because God isn't done with him yet. He's going to learn something through all that study, which brings him back to God. Just you wait. I know from experience that there's really nothing I can do to subvert that narrative and that decisions about my life should be my own. I'd be lying, though, if I said that narrative doesn't discourage me from pursuing that degree. I'm working on it, and I think that sharing the struggle of mine with people who may relate is part of that. Hopefully one day how I feel about those narratives will be more in line with what I know about those narratives. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have a support system of ex-evangelical friends to help me deal with everything I just talked about here. Not everyone is so lucky, though, so I decided to share all of this on my channel to help those of you going through similar things in your deconstruction see that you're not alone and you're not crazy. I always have resources linked in my description for apostate-seeking community and mental health support, like I always say, but I want to draw a bit of extra attention to those resources with this video. If you need to talk to someone about religious trauma, there is a link in the description for the Recovering from Religion Foundation. If you need to find a secular counselor, one who won't spin religious narratives, there is a link to the Secular Therapy Project. There are a couple of other resources linked there too, but I'll leave you with this. Wherever you are in your deconstruction, it is okay to seek support. Put in the effort to find the help you need to stay healthy, and you might be able to pay it forward in the future. Thanks for watching. I've been Drew.
Now, that channel is called the Genetically Modified Skeptic. First thing that came to my mind was genetically modified organisms, GMOs. But he was talking about his life and what happens when he left Christianity, and it ain't easy. You gotta break free from all the indoctrination chains that's that's in you. And it said, like, it took time. And yes, it always takes time. Shit, like when I said fuck God, fuck Jesus and shit, I let go Christmas, let go Easter, but but there's some small Christian tendencies. Like, for example, right when I'm about to get ready to eat, there's this crazy mechanism in my brain say, you gotta pray over your food, right? And every time that shit happen, I'm like, man, nigga, fuck God. Rubber dub dub, thanks for the grill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to motherfucking, change that. Like, every time I sit down, it was like that was like the last piece of Christianity the nigga had to leave, because it was just motherfucking racking in my brain. Like, pray over your food, pray over your motherfucking shit. I'm like, man, fuck all that. Filtered water, and making sure you cook your food properly so you don't get sick. Fuck the bullshit. Motherfuckers, how many times you prayed over your food, or your family prayed over your food, and you still got sick on Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, huh? Jesus ain't saving nigga. Jesus ain't saving nigga's stomach. Jesus, so like, while that other motherfucker visiting to get caught slipping for people's sins. You see today, you still see it, but not on behalf of this motherfucker. Make it make sense. Exactly. And people still can't explain Jesus down for a nigga sins. Like, what sins? Because I thought the Adam and Eve sin was already done and over with after you flooded this bitch and started over with motherfucking Noah's family. What is this down for our sins? You know what I'm saying? I thought you started over. Motherfucker, it was a whole bunch of bad shit going on the planet. Flooded this bitch. Now it's more worse shit going on than the first time. Flood this bitch again. But this time, don't have any survivors. How about that? Because the survivor's going to end up on some crazy shit. Chris is trying to pray. Chris trying to pray for me is wicked. They might be trying to pray for your downfall. I always say, I be like, don't pray for me, because I don't believe in that shit. And two, another thing I said, I was like, man, y'all don't really be doing that. Y'all don't pray for y'all damn self. You know what I'm saying? Christians hate me. Just the brainwashed Christians. Just the brainwashed Christians. And it's still the brainwashed Christians still wearing a fucking mask. Welcome to a person wearing a mask and ask if they're a Christian or not. I bet you they say yeah. I'm like, didn't you watch the news tell you to put on a mask? Why you ain't watch the news tell you that the fucking shit don't work? I'ma still keep the mask on to be safe. You never know. What you mean you never know? Why is you living in fear? I thought no weapon formed against you shall prosper, right? That's what I'm saying, nigga. Fuck Christianity, dog. Because there's too many different types of Christians out here. And I've seen real Christians before. What I mean by a real Christian was an old couple that motherfucking valued peace of mind, positivity, no cursing in the house. Everything in the house is church oriented, from the TV programs to the shit on the wall, shit on the refrigerator, shit on the above the fireplace, shit above the chandelier, everything Jesus out. Nigga, you walk in that bitch, you damn near walk into another goddamn church. That's what I mean, and plus their conversation, the aura, it's all like shit. How can I put it? Damn near perfect. They say no one is perfect, man. Fuck the bullshit. I flip it a paradigm. We are all perfect beings. We just do imperfect things sometimes. That's all. Shit, I am perfect. I know I am. Because I say so. You know what I'm saying? You know why? I could have been destroyed this goddamn planet. But need to. Maybe if I start breaking guys too, that bitch will show up. Like real shit. Start taking out guys, royal terraform build show up. But I think that's all I got. I wanted to just talk about this former Christian. I think I did destructive Christianity guy. Yeah, then talk about the other shit. So yeah, but in conclusion, shit. In conclusion, you can go to fucking phone. Fuck this fucking phone is fuck all this fucking bullshit. I know they got me again, bro. Shit crazy. This shit crazy. I hope the video played through. Hey, yo, did the video play all the way through, or was the video kind of choppy? I mean, damn, not the video, but the audio I played. You know, was that shit cool? You know, before it went off, I guess. Everything seemed cool, but nothing is like what it seems. No more. Shit is fucking crazy. But oh shit. We're gonna play a couple songs and we're gonna get up out of here. I need to get my motherfucking I need to shit, they got mad. I need to motherfucking get my anger back. Hold on. I need to get my anger in check. Shouts out to Big Dog Philly OG. And they kicked me out my life 3 times, man. I'm trying to motherfucking tell these niggas about deconstruction of Christianity, and they kept kicking me out. Nigga, they on some bullshit. Shouts out to Big Dog Philly OG. Thanks for coming. Yeah, you might have to catch the playback, but I got kicked out 3 times, so there's gonna be certain moments where it's gonna get quiet. God damn it. I'm gonna be a little choppy. Fuck this phone. Oh man. All right, everything still seems cool. Seems cool. All right, we're gonna play a couple more. I'm gonna play a couple songs and we can get out of here.
On a mission, gotta knock a bunch of fans off a hit list. Put a politician head on a hit list. I'm the motherfucker wind that is endless. Spit it like a hurricane when I spit shit. Lift a Pentagon up in an instant. Blow the White House up with a vengeance. Be the dictator ass with an engine. To the prime minister and yo minister. Call me new X-Man sinister. With a badass bitch named Jennifer. Caught a fan slipping up in the cinema. So pressure on a gun, I'm a renner, bruh. Black John Wick bitch when I'm killing ya. Put a global list, top us to hit 'em up. On a mission with a 50 count ripping. Everybody get from a distance. Shot him in the kitchen. Everybody eating biscuits. And I saw his wife choking on a Tristan. Call me the Punisher. Killing everybody running up. Hit a motherfucker with a double cup. Pick up another truck. Man, y'all better armor up. Throw your ass through a charter bus. Can't kill one of us. Be the motherfucking revolution. Speaking fluent, the music, I gotta get into it. In the government bank, I gotta bring it to it. Military tank, I gotta still use it. Do you feel the heat? Do you feel the heat? Hurricane come to bang on the industry. And the elite, y'all go to sleep. 6 feet deep, all for eternity.
You would make a good Dalek.
Phenom Rogue One Production.
Scorpion. Middle finger to the motherfucking government. Did something can for the again. Never see the sun again. Buried in the ground, tell her no look again. Say so what again? Middle finger to the motherfucking UN. They get to you in. For the least, they fill the seed. I got a receipt. And for your family, I got a defeat. Then they get the bees, I got a delete. They can't forget about the Pope, nigga. Get smoked with good. You both smoke, you get smoked, nigga. And for a revolutionary step, roll with us. We going to the right house and blow with us. I say you got a barricaded, nigga, open up. Wanna take the shit down with a shoulder shrug. I got a whole bunch of weed, baby, roll it up. Pull it up in a motherfucking armor truck. But armor rub like a war machine. Take missile. God to destroy the seed. No riddle. God to deploy the beam. My unity. My destroy everything and turn the shit. And flip the switch. Kill the bitch. When I'm listening to the mystical and be legit. Gotta turn the body up and feed the pits. I gotta feed the pits. Overload. Look at everything cause it's over, ho. You wanna go toe to toe, rope a dough. We go with the fucking throw. No with the motherfucker. You gon' stop and shoot those cops. And two don't stop and two more stops. Gotta pull out two more blocks. Bang, bang, bitch, you heard pops. Beat, beat, bomb, bustin' at your robots. And they got robots like Robocop. I'm hacking everything cause the show don't stop. With so many dead bodies like Photoshop. I'm shooting motherfuckers like a photo op. You better call the military cause there's no more cops. Leave a dead body up by the go-go shop. The baller from a bad bitch in a polo shop. Y'all wanna kill me cause I flow so hot. And got the runners out the babies in the slow-mo shot. Full cop with a mop tape for more bop. The cyber rival headshot got no more top. Hurricane be the pain and the flow don't stop. Shoot a cop, make a drop, better know your watch. It's the art of war. Got a bigger gun and a bigger sword. Old Bill rate this evil horde. It's time to get over on the court. Let's go exterminate. I came with a say your fade. If a motherfucker fed today, prepare to spray. But guard to the ring, your cake and spray your face. You're gonna face a fate today. Exterminate. I came with a say your fade. If a motherfucker fed today, prepare to spray. But guard to the ring, your cake and spray your face. You're gonna face a fate today. Exterminate. I came with a say your fade. If a motherfucker fed today, prepare to spray. But guard to the ring, your cake, spray your face. You're gonna face a fate today. Exterminate. I came with a say your fate. If a motherfucker fed today, prepare to spray. But artillery, you can't get spray your face. You're gonna face your fate today.
What we got smoke.